In the stifling air of a Nashville courtroom, Judith Crawford, a 45-year-old businesswoman, sat composed at the defendant's table. Across the room, her soon-to-be ex-husband, Bradley, lounged with a smirk, his tailored suit, purchased with her, money, gleaming under the fluorescent lights. His attorney, a wiry man named Gerald Weston, was mid-speech, confidently declaring Bradley's entitlement to half of Judith's assets, including the $2.8 million inheritance from her grandmother's estate. The courtroom buzzed with anticipation, spectators leaning forward, reporters scribbling, all drawn to the spectacle of a high-stakes divorce involving one of Nashville's prominent entrepreneurs. Judith's heart raced, but her face remained a mask of calm. 5 years ago, she'd fallen for Bradley's charm, his easy smile, his attentiveness, the way he seemed to admire her mind. She'd built Brightville Analytics from the ground up, a consulting firm that helped small businesses thrive, but it left little time for romance. When Bradley swept into her life at a Memphis conference, he filled a void left by her grandmother's death. His flattery, "You're brilliant, Judith. Nobody handles numbers like you," felt genuine. Now she saw it for what it was, a calculated move to assess her wealth. The judge, Eleanor Richardson, a no-nonsense woman with steel-gray hair and 2 decades on the family court bench, reviewed the initial filings with a neutral gaze. Bradley's smug glance in Judith's direction only steeled her resolve. She clutched her purse, feeling the weight of the envelope inside, the key to dismantling his scheme. "Mrs. Crawford," Judge Richardson's voice cut through the room, "do you have a response to these claims?" Judith rose, her voice steady. "Yes, Your Honor. I believe the court should see this document." Their romance had been a whirlwind. Bradley, a pharmaceutical sales manager, showered her with lavish dinners and weekend getaways, always insisting, "I invest in the people I love." Judith, then 40 and grieving, was charmed. 8 months in, his riverboat proposal complete, with a quartet and a dazzling ring swept her off her feet. Her attorney, Patricia Holbrook, urged a prenuptial agreement. "It's not about love," Patricia had said. "It's about protection." Judith hesitated, fearing it would taint their romance, but Bradley's casual dismissal, "Whatever makes you happy, darling." "I'm not here for your money," eased her doubts. He signed the prenup without a glance, joking about romantic formalities. Judith had felt reassured, not realizing Patricia's foresight would save her. The truth emerged 18 months into their marriage when Judith inherited her grandmother's estate, a house, rare books, investments, and $2.8 million. Bradley's eyes gleamed when she told him. "We're rich," he'd said, the "we" a red flag she missed. He quit his job soon after, claiming he wanted to support her career. Instead, he burned through her money. $30,000 lost on a friend's failed restaurant, a luxury car, exclusive club memberships, and extravagant vacations. When confronted, he'd shrug. "We're partners, Judith. Trust me." The final straw came when Judith overheard him at the country club, boasting that the inheritance was our family money. Emails between Bradley and his attorney revealed a calculated divorce strategy to claim her wealth, exploiting Tennessee's laws. Furious, Judith contacted Patricia and filed for divorce, determined to control the narrative. Back in the courtroom, Judith handed the manila envelope to the bailiff. "Your Honor, this is the prenuptial agreement my husband signed 5 years ago." The room crackled with tension. Gerald Weston leapt up. "Your Honor, we were never informed of any prenup." "This is irregular." "Sit down, Mr. Weston," Judge Richardson snapped, opening the envelope. Bradley's smirk vanished, replaced by confusion, then panic, as he whispered frantically to his attorney. The judge read the document meticulously, her silence amplifying the room's anticipation. "This is a properly executed prenuptial agreement," she declared. "Dated 6 weeks before the marriage, notarized, and signed by both parties." The agreement was airtight, protecting Judith's premarital assets, business, and any inheritance, with no provision for spousal support. Bradley's face reddened. "Your Honor, I need to see that." "I don't remember signing it." "Mr. Crawford, remain seated," the judge ordered. Gerald, now pale, reviewed the document and whispered urgently to Bradley, who shook his head in disbelief. The spectators were riveted, sensing a dramatic unraveling. During a brief recess, Bradley's desperation was palpable as he argued with Gerald by the courtroom windows. Patricia leaned toward Judith. He'll claim fraud or duress. They always do. When court resumed, Gerald argued that Bradley had been misled, believing the prenup was a romantic formality. Judge Richardson's skepticism was palpable. Are you saying your client signed a legal document without reading it? Gerald stammered. He trusted his fiancée, Your Honor. The judge's gaze shifted to Bradley. Did anyone force you to sign this, Mr. Crawford? Were you under duress? Bradley squirmed. No, but Judith said it was just paperwork. Did you read it? The question hung heavily. Bradley's silence was damning. I skimmed it, he mumbled. Judge Richardson's expression was icy. You signed a legal document without reading it, after waiving independent counsel, and now you ask this court to invalidate it because you didn't take it seriously? Gerald's final plea, that the agreement was unconscionable, fell flat. The judge pointed out the thorough financial disclosures Judith provided, which Bradley had acknowledged. This is one of the most comprehensive prenups I've seen in 23 years, she noted. Judith spoke up. Your Honor, my inheritance was kept in separate accounts, never commingled with marital assets. Bradley erupted. That's not true. She paid for vacations for us. Mr. Crawford, you are out of order. The judge barked. Bradley's outburst continued, his composure shattered. She trapped me. She made me think we were partners. The judge's gavel loomed as a warning. One more outburst and you'll be removed. Reading from the prenup, Judge Richardson highlighted key clauses, premarital assets and inheritances, remained separate, and no alimony would be awarded. Bradley's dreams of millions evaporated. When Judith presented evidence of his $87,000 in personal debts, credit cards, car loans, failed investments, the courtroom buzzed. Judge Richardson's ruling was swift. This prenuptial agreement is valid and binding. Mr. Crawford is entitled to nothing from Mrs. Crawford's assets or inheritance. He remains responsible for his individual debts of $87,000. Bradley sat stunned, his golden hair disheveled, his world collapsing. The gavel fell. The court grants Mrs. Crawford's divorce petition. This court is adjourned. As spectators dispersed, Bradley called after Judith, "This isn't over!" She turned, her voice calm but cutting. It was over when you saw my love as a paycheck, Bradley. In the aftermath, Bradley's life unraveled. The $87,000 debt drove him to bankruptcy within 6 months. His reputation in Nashville's elite circles crumbled as news of his gold-digging scheme spread. The country club expelled him. His car was repossessed, and he moved back to Memphis, living with his parents and working a low-level sales job at 47. His charm no longer opened doors. Women avoided him, wary of his motives. Judith, meanwhile, thrived. She channeled part of her inheritance into the Crawford Foundation, offering legal aid to women navigating prenups and divorces. Her grandmother's wisdom had preserved not just her wealth but her independence. As she walked away from the courthouse, the Nashville skyline gleaming in the distance, Judith felt a weight lift. Bradley's greed had been his downfall, and justice, laced with irony, had prevailed.